Hello, everyone, and welcome to Open Mind. Today, we are tackling the subject of is having a boyfriend embarrassing? I came across this article on Vogue that kind of went viral, to be honest, on TikTok. So, I didn't really come across. I. I came across this article like I'm so fucking smart and I read articles in my free time. No, I don't. I saw a bunch of TikToks about this article. And then I decided that I should probably read the article because it was very interesting and intriguing what everyone had to say about the article. And here's what I have to say. First of all, the article is called Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now? And it's on Vogue. And it's tackling this idea that boyfriends really do seem embarrassing in the way that we portray them on social media. The article talks about basically how now, our attitude as women towards relationships has very much changed and evolved online. And it, the relationships and boyfriends and partners and just men in general used to be very much um praised, and it used to be something that we were very proud of. We wanted to show off. It was kind of a social status as well back in the days, right? But that's how society was, and that's just how our brain like was, because we were just brainwashed by society, and we were told that as a woman you have no value until you are next to a man, basically. So then obviously it transpired into social media when social media became a thing. And yes, relationships were very much something that you were part of, and you wanted to have a boyfriend and you wanted to be married. And especially if that person was successful, you were definitely going to be showing off all of that online and in your life. Now, however, the narrative very much changed and went the complete opposite. It did a whole 180. The article was saying that it's very much praised to be independent as a woman, and therefore, if you are showing off your boyfriend, it will probably automatically put you in a box that you're just someone's girlfriend or someone's boyfriend or just someone's partner. And therefore you kind of just that's just your whole image, and that's just your whole thing now. That's just being in that relationship, and without you probably showing this side of this relationship, you the way you are seen on social media as someone that's dependent on men. Because now I feel like social media is very much black and white, and people don't really understand that there's a gray area in things. And people like to just jump to conclusions. The article, yeah, it was just talking about how now, the soft launch thing is very much a thing of I'm just gonna post a picture here and let's make sure we don't see the face. We only see maybe a hand. We only see the back of his head. We don't want to show off the men at all because men have a very bad rep. And as women, we don't want to praise men because we've been completely. I mean, men have been the root of all of our suffering since the beginning of time. So why would we put any light on this fucking thing that just caused us so much pain, and just so much negativity in society and in our life. So we're very much moving away from this. And that's what basically the whole article was about. I'm trying to summarize this shit. It was just about that and how it's evolving and how much of a different perspective we have now on relationships, especially on social media. Because we don't want to seem dependent on men and on our partnership, basically. I kind of had a couple takes on this article. This article made me think of a lot of things. First of all, you should probably know that I'm very much single. I've been single for what feels now forever now. I've been single for 5 years, and it feels like, to be honest, it's been such a long time now that like it feels like I've always been single in a way, because also the last time I was in a relationship, I I don't know who this person was. It's like I do not know who that Marie was that was in a relationship. Like I think would be very much different right now in relationships. I've had a lot of like things in situationships since then, which made me only but reinforce my feeling on how much I hate men. And we're gonna tackle that in this episode because I just want you this podcast is called Open Mind. Yeah? My roommate just gave me some teeny tiny pecan pies from Trader Joe's. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Thank you, Regina. Let me just say something real quick. This podcast is called Open Mind for a reason. And whether you're a guy listening to this episode or a girl, it doesn't really fucking matter at the end of the day, because this episode is not going to be about how men are the worst possible species on earth, how we all hate men. I hate men. Everything's like men are just the worst, blah, blah, blah. This is not the energy we're giving today. Okay, I am probably one of the number one men hater, but I also have a brain that I use. And yes, I may say that I hate men quite often, but deep down I don't want to hate men. Okay, I don't want to hate men, and we will dive down into this specific topic a little later on. So this article made me think of a lot of things, and there's really three main points that I wanted to talk about today. Um, First thing is, I want to talk a little bit about how we really, as women and now in our society, don't need men anymore. Um, the article talked about it. We used to actually like need men to have a life and to live our life as a woman. Um, I don't know, like up until the 70s or 80s, because I know like some laws like became pretty um some laws like uh were pretty late, but yeah, up until the 70s, almost 80s, so it's been not that long of a time. Women needed to be married, to open up a bank account. They needed a man to go and open a bank account with them. They just needed to be married to do literally anything, to have a bank account, to have a house, because nothing could be just of their own name. It had to be their husband's. So you like physically could not, like, it was an actual disadvantage to be a single woman, period. Like most things in life that were like very normal things of like day-to-day life, you can do as just like if you were single. So, and that was just how society was, is that like at 20, around 20, as soon as you became an adult, basically you were gonna go find a husband, get married, and boom, you were done. You had to be married, and that's what you were looking for, because that's how society brainwashed us, that like we were only valuable and respectful as women if we had a partner and if we were married. If you were pregnant and you were not married, it was a whole shit show. You know the drill. So we really needed them. We needed men, whether we hate, like them or not. We needed them to like fucking survive at the end of the day. We don't need them anymore. We really don't need them, and we now have rights. We now have access to education. We have access to opportunities, most of the time very much the same opportunities as men. I think now, as a woman, you can do anything that a man can do, just in societal norms. Obviously, we know that it's harder because we are not seen as equally as men, you know? But technically, we can do pretty much everything that a man can do without needing men. Um, and therefore, the fact of having someone, being in a relationship, being married, having a partner, a boyfriend, is a choice. It's a choice. You don't actually need that person in your life. It's an actual choice that you're gonna make. Because of the fact that like we don't need them anymore, it almost feels like when you do have a boyfriend and you do have a relationship or you are married or whatever, it almost feels like you're like, I think unconsciously our brain as women, like, it's kind of like PTSD, like, and so when you're in a relationship with a guy, it like, I think unconsciously we think that like we're going back to the times of like when we were extremely dependent on men in general because we had to, because society made things this way that you actually cannot depend on yourself as a woman because you didn't have the same rights and opportunities and access to the daily things in life without men. So I think now when we do make the choice of like having a boyfriend, it's like, but why? You know, we think about it of like, but why would I? I don't need them. And do they deserve us? No. Like, we finally are in a time where we are able to make our own decisions for our own selves and to actually, make our own choices in most of the world. Unfortunately, some parts of the world is not like that. I am from a place where it is very much like that, and we're very much progressive when it comes to women's right. Thank fucking goodness. But you know what I'm getting at. And I think that unconsciously we see relationships and like having a boyfriend as like, oh my god, like I'm going back to like being dependent and like why would I have a boyfriend? Like he's not bringing anything to me, and like actually all I hear is like how bad men are. So like I'm actively choosing to like have something that is like that has like a very bad reputation in my life, and also a bad history when it comes to women. You know what I mean? It's like men have a bad rep for women because our whole life and like since the beginning of time, they took rights away from us. They did. They didn't want women to have any rights. We had to fight to have our rights, like physically fight. And so now making the conscious choice of like bringing this person that is connected to this horrible past that made us suffer so much, it doesn't make sense, And it's like, it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And I completely get the feeling. It's like, why waste my time and energy on something? And I'm sorry, on something, I shouldn't say something, on someone that, will probably, because of the stats and because of all the history, end up hurting me and make me suffer because it's been proven over and over since the beginning of time. It's like, why would I choose that? Why would I choose that? And like other women see that, and you don't want to be judged, and you don't want to be seen as, most women don't want to be seen as someone that is, against other women. We're very much like, we want to be girls, and whole thing. It's like, yeah, how can I be a girls when I'm dating the oppressor in the story? How can I be a girls if I'm dating the group that is victimizing women? Like, it's like, how can I be part of both worlds? Like, I want the best of both worlds. I want to be a girls and I want to be able to have a relationship and have a boyfriend, because unfortunately I'm heterosexual and I'm attracted to men. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense to be feminist and to be dating a guy, because it doesn't make sense to be a girls and to be all about women and to be dating a guy, because unfortunately guys are not feminists. Unfortunately, guys never fought for women's right, because they're the one that took them away from us. So yeah, it goes really deep, but I think that's why it's so deep in us. It's like it's ingrained in us that like men are the oppressor. We've been fighting for so long and so hard to for our independence and to gain our independence. And now that we finally have it and finally come very close to, you know, be seen equal next to a man, then unconsciously when we go and we date and we get into a relationship, it feels like we're giving up this independence and it feels like we're not fighting for our rights anymore. And I think that's why we really don't want to show off our boyfriends anymore. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to be put in this box of being like, you're dependent on your relationship, you're dependent on your guy, and you exist just because of this guy. No, you don't. I exist because of me, and I would like to exist because of me as a whole. And also, I would like people to accept the fact that as a bonus, I have a guy next to me. I have a boyfriend, and that shouldn't be wrong. The second point that I wanted to touch on, that I've already kind of touched on, is the whole I hate men thing. It's been very, very much in our ears, in our faces for a couple of years now. And I think it became, well, I think it's a fact, it became a really big thing since the whole Me Too movement happened. And if you're a guy listening right now, I would like you to understand why this I hate men really became a thing. Our whole life as women, we have been proven over and over and over again that men have extremely toxic behaviors and repeat those behaviors with women without a care in the world. And we are constantly being thrown at our face that they cheat, I'm sorry, but rape, they are violent, they hit us, they don't respect us, they treat us like shit, they objectify us, they sexualize us without any reason to. They make us feel unsafe. And that's just all of these things. You feel those things and you know those things as a woman by just living life. That's what you guys don't understand, is that I don't have to be the one that has experienced this personally to know that it's true, because unfortunately I have seen it, or I have heard about it, or I have experienced it, or I have lived it, or I have had my close friend, experience. Like, somehow every woman on this earth has experienced um or has known someone that has experienced something really bad related to men. And it's a spectrum, right? It could be from just like um talking to us in a very disrespectful manner, cheating on us, or obviously one of the worst case scenarios with sexually harassing us, and you know what I mean. We all have either unfortunately experienced it personally or know someone close to us that has experienced it. And that's just by being a woman. And the issue is when we bring up those um things and those issues to the world, we are completely shut down. And not just that, we are shut down, but we are also immediately being called crazy, being called overdramatic, being called oversensitive, being called just weak and crazy. I don't know, just everything. As soon as you say anything about men and how men hacked, have acted towards us and have impacted our life, we are the crazy ones. We always are the issue in the story. When a man cheats, we go and we bully the girl. When a man rape, we go look at the woman and we talk about her, and we start like looking at all the possible reasons of why this man raped her instead of just looking at the fucking rapist and just like, that's it. He raped someone. He's a horrible person. Prison. Let's stop talking about it. Like, why are we trying to make excuses like, oh, but like she should have known, or like she should have worn something else, or like she should have done this, or she should have done that, or like she's too much like this, or she's too much like what the fuck? Why are we even talking about the girl? Why are we talking about the woman? Why are we not focusing on the one that actually like did the horrible illegal thing, and like making sure that he's never going to do it again and he's never going to hurt someone then? And why are we not making sure that like we actually educate guys and boys from a younger age to not turn like that? Because it's a fucking fact that men, are the one that commit more murders, are the one that commit more rape, whatever. I don't want to go like too crazy. I don't know why I'm going there, but like it's just a fact. Okay, and you guys have to understand that like we know deep down in our core, and everybody knows that, but we have lived it, we have experienced it. Like we know that factually, statistically speaking, men are gonna be violent, are gonna cheat, are gonna sexualize us, are gonna fucking harass us. Like, it's just a fact. So obviously, we're not gonna welcome you with open fucking arms and be like, oh my god, you're so cute, I'm gonna trust you. No. Because you don't respect us. You don't. And the crazy thing is that, like, even though all these stories are coming out, the fact that we have to like have proof and that our words is just not enough as a proof, you know, um, is insane to me. Like you're gonna go up to a police station and you're gonna talk about something that's happened last night with a guy, and they're gonna look at you like, are you sure? But like, are you sure? And like, but you drink, right? Or you use coke or whatever, but you were wearing a miniskirt, right? And like very sexy clothes. Oh, but like you flirted with him, right? Does that excuse the fact that he sexually harassed me, that I flirted with him? Why do I have to like, why is my word not enough? Well, because they don't respect your word. That's the thing, guys. Like, you don't understand. Like, men don't respect the woman's word. Like, they just don't. So why would we respect you? Why? Like, we're sick of it. We're fucking sick of it. We're angry. And I think that's why this whole hating men came about, is because we're fucking angry and we're fucking sick of this shit. We're sick of never being heard, of never being trusted, and of always having to prove our worth. And that by just being a woman, we're never going to be worthy enough. We're never going to be respected. Ever. Not like a man is. And that's just a fact. As a woman, I have to explain myself about stuff like that over and over again. I'm at the dinner table. I have to explain to my dad why it's not okay to be doing things like that. And even to my mother, I have to do it so, because she's been brainwashed as well. We all have. Like, I have to explain to my dad that it's not okay to talk about women like that, or to talk, literally to talk to me like that, because you don't do that to men. And if you had a son, you wouldn't do that to him either. So why are you doing it to me? Because you don't respect me the way you respect men. Period. And you guys don't, I don't know if you like know that, like, I don't know if you just don't understand it or whatever, but like, you gotta accept the fact that, like, you gotta accept the fact. Like, that's that. Okay, the stories are true. All the Me Too shit, like, it's not for attention. Why would a woman ever speak up and like seek attention when all she's gonna be like being seen is as this crazy, dramatic, sensitive bitch? Why would I ever want to like put myself into all of this shit? It's already so hard to like come forward and talk about something that's hurt you and impacted you in so many ways in your life, and like that's changed your life forever and changed you forever. That takes so much bravery to come forward and talk about stuff like that. And on top of that, you're being criticized and being called crazy for doing it, and then being like saying that you're seeking attention. Like, come on, guys. You gotta understand why we're like fucking like I hate men now, and like we find you embarrassing as shit. It's literally factual. And the thing is that like we're when we say I hate men, whatever, like we know it's not all men, and we're never like we just know, but we're tired. We're tired of everything. We're tired of explaining ourselves over and over again, and we're trying to like always having to protect ourselves from them, from men. Like, I know like it's not all men, but when I walk alone at night, I don't know, I'm scared either way. I don't know what's going to happen to me. If there's a group of 5 guys walking behind me, I'm scared as shit. Because maybe it's not all men, but maybe tonight it's one of them. You don't know. But you're always in this protective, guarded feeling because you don't know if it's going to be that guy or not. It's not all of them that do it, but it's enough of them that we're scared of all of them. And we're trying to protect ourselves from all of them. The last point that I wanted to talk about is the fact that this article, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, again? Like, we're again gonna come out with some shit that we hate men, whatever. Like, that was my first thought. I swear to God. Even though I just had a whole tangent about how men can be really bad. Um, but that's what I've been really feeling lately, is that like I'm sick of like hating men. I don't want to hate men. Because believing it or not, I want a fucking boyfriend. I don't want to be embarrassed by a boyfriend, and I don't want to be I don't want to feel embarrassed when I say I want a boyfriend. I don't. I want to find someone that I love. And I want to find someone that I can openly talk about and be proud of, and be proud of calling them my boyfriend without any fucking judgment from anyone. I want a boyfriend. Like, I just want a fucking boyfriend. And I want it, and I want to talk about him in an uplifting and positive way. And I don't want to be scared to like mention my boyfriend to my girlfriends, because it's like all I hear is like, if I'm like the only one with a boyfriend and like all my friends are single, all I'm gonna hear is how they hate men and how bad men are, because like 99% of our interactions with men are horrible. Horrible. And I'm fully like losing hope on like finding someone like like this is just getting like it's a fucking shit show. I'm like losing my words. I can't even like fucking describe how bad it is right now to like even like find someone to maybe potentially date. Like, it's insane how our dating culture is just have has gone to shits. And because of that, if you do, if you are in a relationship, you don't want to talk about how amazing your relationship is. You don't. Because no one wants to fucking hear about it. Because we're all struggling to find someone with somewhat of a, you know, respectful personality and enjoyable personality. That obviously, like, we don't want to hear about how amazing your relationship is, because it's annoying. Like, it's fucking annoying. Like, why? Why do you have a great relationship? And it's like, but is it really that great? He's probably gonna cheat on you either way. Like, because that's all we see online, is that at the end of the day, they all end up getting divorced, they all end up getting cheated on, or something happens in along those lines. So why even like bother, you know? But the truth is, we're human, and it's literally like in our DNA to find someone and to create relationships and connections with someone, and especially of the opposite sex, because that's how we reproduce. Blah 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 blah. We don't need a whole biology thing, but it's literally like our survival instinct to find someone and like reproduce for our human species. So it's in our nature to seek this romantic partnership. Also, who the fuck doesn't love love? Like, obviously, you want to be cuddled and kissed and be told that they love you. Like, duh. Mm. I don't want to keep having this narrative that I hate men. I don't. But unfortunately, we are being proven every day that we should keep going with this narrative. Unfortunately, because of like all the experiences that we've had with men and all the bad experiences that we've had, is that automatically our first response to anything that a man does is negative. Our default mode is just not trusting them. I personally, and I know a lot of women feel this way, is that when I start talking to a new guy, I expect to be disappointed. And when I am disappointed, or like when something happens, I'm like I'm not surprised. I'm like, obviously, yeah, obviously. Every time. Every time it's something new, somehow that I didn't caught, that I didn't catch on. But I every time end up being disappointed by them, disappointed but not surprised. Like, obviously you're gonna disappoint me. So how can you like get into, a relationship, or like just get into talking to someone when you're already with that feeling of like they're gonna disappoint me, I can't trust them, blah 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 blah. Like, it's in us, it's ingrained in us to be guarded like that. And then when you do open up, it's also very scary and it's very vulnerable, because you put your feeling at risk. Like, that's how I see it. Like, I'm risking something. I'm risking my own peace. I'm all good here. I'm finally all good. I've been single for a while, and I've been working on myself for so long, and I'm at a place where I enjoy being with myself, when I enjoy just being alone, doing things by myself, and I'm so comfortable because that's how I've lived my life for so long. It's like that's just how it is. Like, that's my habit. Like, I'm alone and I'm completely happy about it. So why choosing to like risking that, like, this piece that I have going on? I'm all good. Nobody's bothering me. And it's like, oh, but like, why would they bother you? Because that's all that's happened. They've always, they're always bothering you. They're gonna make you angry. They're gonna make you sad. And they're gonna make you lose your trust again and disappoint you again. So why? Why do it? Obviously, I've done a lot of therapy work, and I've also realized, and that's what my therapist is trying to tell me, is that like you have to let go of like like their impact onto you, and there's no risk. You have to trust yourself in that process, and you have to know yourself enough that, and like believe in yourself enough that you're gonna be okay, and that they're a whole other human being, and their actions and behaviors are not against you, and they're not personal to you. You shouldn't take them personally. And that's the hard thing, is that, letting go of the expectations, probably, of how they should be as a boyfriend, or just, as a guy or whatever. And no, like, just letting them be, because you have no control over how they're going to be with you. And their actions are not a reflection of you, they're a reflection of them. And once you realize that, and like actually put this in place, and in real life, then nothing's gonna hurt you, because you're not getting affected by their words or their behavior or their actions. You're just doing you. Whatever they're doing, either way, you have no control over. So if they cheat, well, they cheat. But you have to understand that them cheating is not because of you, it's because of them. They're the issue. Like, and they have their own issues that they have to deal with. And you're not responsible for that. You have no responsibility in the fact that they're the one that cheated on you. And that's really hard, because when it happens over and over again, you think that you're the problem. And when you get into talking to someone or get into relationships, you take the blame. Because again, that's how we've been raised, and that's how society has been with us, that like women take the blame. But we got to stop this narrative, and you got to understand that like either way, if they if they want to do it, they're going to do it. You won't be able to find the person that's right for you if you stop looking, right? Like, you got to talk to people, you got to, meet different people, different guys, and have different experiences in order to probably find the one. It's not a fairy tale. We're not back in Disney with Cinderella that's just, up, Prince Charming's coming, knocking on your door, and that's that. Like, no, that's just not life. And you gotta accept that. And that's the hard truth, is accepting that it's not gonna come easy. It's not gonna come straight away. And yeah, like, most men are gonna be disappointing, but that doesn't have to do anything with you. You're gonna keep living, and they don't have to be disturbing your peace. If your peace is that well, like, in place, why are they disturbing it? Why are you letting them disturb it? You also have to take responsibility and acknowledge the fact that you probably are letting them disrupt your peace. And that's really hard. That's really, really hard. And that's what I'm trying to work on right now in my personal life. So there's that. But to kind of conclude this episode, this article was actually very eye-opening to me and is very reflective on like what's going on social media and what's going on just in our society in general and in our generation. And I think there's a reason why this article came about and why we as women find just boyfriends and being in a relationship pretty embarrassing now. And I hope that men don't get, obviously they're gonna get offended by it, but like this whole conversation, at the end of the day, we just want you guys to understand where we're coming from, and we just want you guys to take responsibility for your actions. That's all we want. And yes, there's a lot of anger towards men, but this anger is very much, it's valid. It's so fucking valid. And I'm never gonna apologize for it. Ever. So, yeah, I do hate men. Not all men. But yeah, I'm also a hopeless romantic and I love love and I want a boyfriend. So, that tells you that tells you how my brain works. But if you do have a boyfriend and if you do find yourself being embarrassed to talk about it, to your girlfriends or to show it online, you do you. I think it's always good to have some privacy on your relationship in general, whether you're in the public eye or not, or if no one knows you. You never know. You just never know. And I think it's good a little bit of privacy. But if this boyfriend is someone that you genuinely love and have a lot of affection towards and you're have a lot of respect, then you shouldn't be embarrassed to say those things out loud. And if your girlfriends are judging you for it, then that's a conversation that you need to have with them because they shouldn't. They should be happy for you. And you should be happy for yourself. So, if you do have a boyfriend, don't be embarrassed by it. Okay? That is a very normal thing. And that doesn't take away from your independence. And that doesn't mean that you're not a feminist or a girl's girls. Okay? That just means that you're a lucky person that found someone that loves you. And that's great. We should celebrate love, guys. We should not be judging each other for it. Anyways, that will be the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, opinions, comments, please share them. Love to. You can comment on Spotify or on YouTube. If you watch it on YouTube, listen to it on Spotify. It's available on both platforms. Thank you so much for listening for today's episodes, and I will see you next week in the next one. Bye bye.